National anthem.
And it's also
Chinese,
Yes. Press. You remember after our inauguration, the Honorable Minister of State and my humble self, we came here and said, by the mandate of Mr. President, that we have to hit the ground running. We talked about the short-term deliverables, the medium-term, and the long-term. And after that, we went out for inspection to see certain projects that were awarded before us and have been abandoned probably due to one reason or the other. We know we visited quite a number of geotechnical projects. We went to Salini and some other projects I may not be able to remember. Now time has come for action. First of all, on the metro line, those of you who heard what Mr. President said yesterday, he did give a marching order that he wants to ride on the metro line. And so it's a key project that we must achieve. We also found out that a lot of residents have complained about the abandonment of projects in terms of road infrastructure. One basic thing that people understand and make a city is the road network. We're handling the issue of sanitation. We're handling the issue of street lights. We're also handling the issue of shanties and the rest of them. But the roads are very key. And so we're trying to see how we can map our strategies, structural funding, so that we don't have problems of completion. So we are determined, seriously, to make sure every contractor goes back to site. Not just going back to site with direct supervision from my office and the office of the Minister of State. Those of you who have worked with me, and you know my Minister of State from Kano, she worked with the former governor, who is now the chairman of All Progressive Congress. Her track record shows the major problem we have had, or we're having in this country, is lack of supervision. The lack of supervision. We are not going to tolerate anything below standard. If there are people you have been working with who have a compromising standard, too bad. Too bad. It's not with me. Too bad. I'm not going to accept anything that below standard. In fact, for me, Abuja is easy to do construction here than to do construction in my state. And there are states where you have wetland and this is very difficult. So we're going to structure how we're going to fund you, how every contractor will go back to site and do work. I don't want to hear, oh, this happened and this didn't happen. Ordinarily, I would have gone back to look at performance or no performance. But I felt that I don't need to go back. Let's move forward and see what we can attain or achieve. I have agreed with my Honorable Minister of State, and we have told the management we must restructure the way projects are funded. We must not fund projects depending only on the national budget. We must also fund projects also through our direct, our internal-generated revenue. It will not be palatable with everybody, but I will want to achieve results. I I will not be a party to give us contract, and then there's no money to fund. We prefer, if we are giving out only 3 contracts, let it be 3 contracts. And then we're able to achieve, not award 20 contracts at the end of the day or not achieved anyone. It doesn't make sense to me. So even the resurfacing, as they call it, I have said I'm not going to look at it. We're going to move on. And we're going to fund you, give you your money. You go to site there, you will tell us the time within which the project will be finished, because I'm going to attach funds to it. If we agree 3 months, it's 3 months. If I agree 6 months, it's 6 months. I hear no excuses at all, because I know that we're not going to owe. Yes, we're not going to owe. Luckily today, even the national projects that depend on national budgeting, we agree that the federal government will increase the funding. But we're not going to just depend. We're going to tie every project, whether national project or our own local projects, we have to tie it to also of our IGR. It's like so that we know that we have achieved something for the city. I hate project literally left, right, and the center. This is what is supposed to help to create more employment. But when you are not working, staffs are sacked. And that also is a problem for the country. But when you are working, people are employed. That reduces the level of unemployment. So I'll seek for your cooperation. We'll be very brief, company by company, very brief, and tell you what we intend to do. So, gentlemen of the press, we fair to let you know, we are flagging off which zone is that, where you have the roads to be reconstructed for the surface. Which area is that?
In Gariki district, Gariki 1 and Wuse 1 district mostly, but there are couples of spots in Maitama.
So the major thing is Gariki 1
and Wuse 1.
And Wuse 1.
Yes.
And some parts of Maitama.
Maitama.
So what happens to Asokoro?
We are now constituting it as our second stage.
Phase.
Second phase.
Okay.
As, you have instructed.
Well, because you know that Asokoro is where you have mostly the government agencies and the rest of it, embassies and the rest. So, and it's very passed there anytime it rains. So you have to do all you can to give it a facelift.
Yes.
So I believe in the next 2 weeks,
Yes.
you will get so that we can start the procurement process and then move on to the next thing. So, gentlemen of the press, I sincerely thank you. This is what we have for you for now. Until we go into private discussion, probably when we finish, we will not be able to address it generally the decision we have taken. But have it in mind that we're serious and that every contractor will move back to site. So Abuja will now be a construction site, as we promised. Thank you, and God bless. Except you have anything to ask. Do you have anything to ask?
Discussion.
You probably next 2 minutes. Before you do it. Oh.